Welcome back to Game Week 7 Premier League predictions. I know the score. I'm catching you, actually. Can we talk about the points for a second?
The fight back has begun. 6 points, 3 points. I had a shocker.
And if Wolves just held on against Tottenham with that 1-0, like I predicted, I would have been one of the biggest legends in the world. What's the first game?
But it didn't happen, Theo. But the first game has got to be Bournemouth against Fulham, Theo. 6th against 11th. A really hard one to call this. Both teams have been really good this season.
Yeah.
But Bournemouth, bit of a wake-up call at Ellen Road, Theo.
Bournemouth in 6th place. It just shows you how good Andone Iraola is. He sells off his best players and maintains quality week in, week out. The likes of Semenyo scored again against Leeds. They didn't get a win against Leeds, but they looked solid, didn't they? They had good moments. Conceding 2 away from home, it is what it is. It's still a point, and they're unbeaten another game.
It is one of the stories of the season, Theo. They lost on the opening day to Liverpool at Anfield. That'll happen to a lot of teams. And since then, they've not lost. Now, they're playing a Fulham team who lost to Villa, but I thought were actually quite good until that 14-minute stretch when they conceded 3 goals.
Yeah, absolutely, Dad. Fulham, you can't write them off. They've got a great record with Marco Silva. They had a few issues in that Chelsea game when they lost, and since then it's just been win, win, win. In the Cup when I was there against Cambridge, and even in the Premier League. It doesn't matter. They get the job done. R9 up top, could even be Jimenez. They will get a result, and that's why I don't want to predict Bournemouth a win. I'm going to sit on the fence here and say, look, 2 solid Premier League clubs, well run. They haven't done a crazy amount of business, both of them. Bournemouth signed a few more players than Fulham, but a 1-1 draw is written all over it for this sort of Premier League fixture.
I think this is guesswork, Theo, so I'm just going to go with home advantage, 2-1 to Bournemouth. Leeds United against Tottenham Hotspur is 12th against 4th. It is Yorkshire against London, Theo. Now, 2 teams who drew last week thanks to very late goals. Now, we just talked about Leeds and Bournemouth. Leeds very unlucky not to get 3 points, but what they did in that game, 19 shots, they created chances.
They've got such a quality team, Dad, and that home form, it will help them, even picking up points away. Ellen Road back-to-back, that's what they won. This is a Tottenham team that weren't able to beat Wolves at home. You've got to hit them when it hurts, and this is an opportunity for Leeds to take at least a point in a game. They won't be fully confident.
But Theo, which Spurs is going to turn up? Because I saw that game against Wolves, and I was just thinking, Theo's got this one right. And I couldn't believe, you predicted Wolves to beat Spurs.
Until 94th minute. That did my head in.
Ridiculous. But then Tottenham Hotspur, they go to Man City and they win. So which Spurs is going to show up?
Well, Thomas Frank is trying to change that sort of Ange era where they'd be unbelievable and then complete dog. But they are changing that, and I think game by game, training ground by training ground, they'll work out tactics, they'll figure out the defence, they'll be more solid. And this will be in that transition. Thomas Frank will go to Yorkshire and come away with 3 points. But it will be close, and Leeds will score 2-1 win.
Wow, now the bookies will agree with you, Theo, an away win, but I just feel Leeds they've got a bit of a fortress at Ellen Road.
Yeah.
And they've had that fortress since, I think, your birthday.
Well, Leeds fans always say, Theo, why are you not predicting us draws and wins? And are you going to back them?
A 1-1 draw.
Wow.
Manchester United against Sunderland now is 14th against 5th. This is a northern team which is, quite frankly, struggling in this division. And they're playing Sunderland, Theo.
I see what you did there, Dog Dad.
Thank you.
They're doing great. They're turning up, and they're surprising every single week.
Yes.
The only game where they probably did worse than they expected this season was the Burnley match. And I keep respecting them.
Well, we thought, Theo, that the problem would be away from home. We thought, okay, it could be a fortress at home, but the last couple of away games, they've not lost.
The thing is with United, at some point they have to get the wins. Yeah. Ruben Amorim's job's on the line. Probably if they don't get 3 points in this game, he's gone. Will Sunderland be good enough and have the solidity to come away with a draw or a win?
They can get something, Theo. You look at Man United and that game against Brentford. I was watching this thinking United are going to come back.
Yeah.
And I actually said, I made a prediction that both Bruno and Mboma would get a contribution. And it was nearly happened. It's just that penalty miss, wasn't it? That was the difference.
It was. Old Trafford, I wouldn't say it's a hard place to go anymore. And I think Sunderland can win this, and they will put the pressure on, and the players will be a little bit shaky. But as they did in the Burnley game, where United scored in the last minute to get 3 points, I can see some more late scenes here. Yeah. Won't be an easy win, but they just have to win. There's no other ifs or buts about it. They need to get the job done. Sunderland will score, but United grab 2. And Bruno late on, or Mbeumo, someone like that, is just going to find a way.
I'm going to sort of agree and say Manchester United 1, Sunderland 0.
Wow.
Arsenal against West Ham United is 2nd against 19th. It's another London derby against 2 London teams in very contrasting form. Now, Arsenal against Newcastle, I watched that game. They celebrated that victory like they won the league.
I know, unbelievable. Look, Arsenal for the first time are favourites to win the Premier League.
Yes.
So of course they're going to be excited. To go away to Newcastle, to be a goal goal down to Nick Watermarder, for Gabriel to be falling on the floor like a baby, and then a little bit later he scores the winner to bring home 3 points for the longest away day in the Premier League. It's amazing. It's amazing what Arsenal are doing. And Mikel Arteta, who is almost my neighbour, will be buzzing, but also to be favourites to win the Premier League.
Everyone wants to be your neighbour there, but West Ham United, have they turned a corner? I mean, they got a good point, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, West Ham, they turned a corner with Nuno. I think he's a solid manager. Him in the dressing room just brings that level of aura that Graham Potter didn't have. They made the change at an awkward time because they had a game 2 days later, and they probably came out with a better result. Jared Bowen has scored 3 goals so far this season, and he's going to continue to build on that. There's no denying they've got the quality on the pitch. They could turn up here and look, Arsenal away is the hardest game of the calendar year now. It's confirmed.
It is.
So I have to back the Gunners, and I'm sure you will too.
I might do, Theo, but I'm going to second what you said about Jared Bowen. He's one of the most underrated players in the league. For me, he's got everything. He's the man who you want on your team. Great first touch, great short passing. He can score a goal. He's always running. He's always looking for space. An absolutely fine player. But despite Jared Bowen...
Saka's back. Gyökeres can score goals in these sort of matches for sure. They've got quality all around the pitch. Martinelli off the bench is rapid. I'm not sure about the West Ham defence. I don't think it's something that Nuno can sort out in about 10 days. I'm going to predict Arsenal 2, West Ham 0.
And I'm just going to agree with you. But if they score early, it could be 3 or 4
If it was Potter managing, I would have said 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Chelsea against Liverpool, 8th against 1st. 2 of the big beasts of the Premier League meet at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
But they both lost last week.
They did. You were at the Chelsea game. Brighton got the win.
They did.
Despite being 1 goal down.
And in the first half, you just thought, this is all Chelsea.
All the Blues.
But they had to get the second goal. And what happened again, Theo, they went down to 10 men.
So they went down to 10 men, and then the Seagulls swooped in. But who really stunned? Who shone?
Who shone? Danny Welbeck.
What?
Because he got the 2 goals. He got the 2 goals. Oldest man on the pitch. Age doesn't mean anything, Theo, when you're that good.
What about Minter? What about Mitoma?
The whole team, Theo. But it was a game of 2 halves. That's how the cliche goes. But I did say at half-time to Josh, my Chelsea mate, you have to score a second. Because Brighton can always hit you and hurt you on the break.
When you miss Cole Palmer, it hurts, doesn't it?
Yes.
Did that look like a Chelsea team without their CP company?
Well, they had Steve, Theo. They had Esteve.
Yeah,
and
Esteve,
he
amazing.
could have scored one of the best goals you've ever seen. Literally a run from his own half. And it was just his finishing. On 2 occasions, what let him down was his finishing.
I think with Maresca right now, I cannot back him to beat Liverpool. The Reds need a win. They need to get it from somewhere. They've lost and bottled it against Palace.
They're getting wins all season. Liverpool. They've had 1 defeat, yeah.
I know. And I can't see it going back to back. Onslaught doesn't allow that. And I know they play Champions League, so do Chelsea. So there won't be that much distraction. I know Chelsea, what favours them is they're playing at the Stamford Bridge midweek. You know, we're predicting this before Champions League. I'm trying to work things out in my head. Liverpool have to travel, so that's a difference. But for the Reds, I think they'll turn up here slight favourites. You've got a team that might be losing it a little bit in the head. The last 180 minutes, 2 red cards from Maresca's boys. You can blame, it was a final man, shouldn't have done it, whatever. 2 red cards in 2 games is not good enough. Something is wrong. Maresca, he's a winner. We know that. But in a season, there will be low moments. He reminds me a bit of De Zerbi. He's very aggressive, he's full throttle, and when things are going bad, they stay bad. And I think Liverpool will come away with a win here.
Well, Theo, you just have to keep 11 men on the pitch. Yeah. And literally, that has cost them. They got 1 point in 3 games. And it's a discipline thing. And by the way, from watching that game, Chelsea should have gone down to 9 men at 1 point. There were things that the referee missed. This is going to be an absolute great... This is going to be a fantastic game.
It will be a great game.
And I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw.
Wow. I'm going to see who's very clever in the comments. Who really has the ball knowledge? Let me know what your Chelsea-Liverpool score is. And if you get it correct, I'm sending you 72 Mars bars. Anyway, my predictions...
that you're not.
Well, I think the score will be Chelsea 1, Liverpool 2. And Isak's going to score his first Premier League goal in a Liverpool shirt at the Bridge. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to go like... He's going to do one of them ones. One of those celebrations. Well, Van Dijk won't be there, but one of the Chelsea centre-backs that isn't suspended will play. And they'll get the win.
Everton against Crystal Palace is 9th against 3rd. This is a fascinating fixture between 2 teams in the top half of the table. Now, Everton, Theo, look at their form at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. They've only conceded 1 goal.
Very solid, isn't it, Dad? Keane and Dewsbury Hall played really well in their last Monday night game.
Did you see the yellow card he got? How many bad yellow cards has he got? And he's going to be suspended. He put in a really good challenge. He got a yellow card.
Oh, it's just silly.
It is, honestly, the refereeing this weekend was shocking.
One of the officials should say, in previous weeks, actually got very soft yellow card. Can you just... And then he puts in a good tackle and he gets another... you can't complain about yellows, but yeah, you're right. You get suspended, and that is a very valuable game. I'm not sure if it's this one or not, but it's coming. So it's unfortunate for the Toffees fans, but they are building something at Hill Dickinson. And despite what we said in Premier League predictions at the start of the season, we thought it would take more time for transition. But they are getting results there. But Crystal Palace turning up are very solid.
Oh, they've been fantastic this season. This is the only unbeaten record this season. This is the longest unbeaten record in the Premier League as well. The only team to take a point off Liverpool. I mean, Crystal Palace are the real deal this season.
They are the real deal. And they've got Mateta Booms left, right and centre. I thought Ismail Assar was going to be injured last week. I checked the score updates. He scored. So I don't know what to say anymore. Adam Wharton's playing for England and, of course, running it for Palace. They've got a great team. I'd actually say that if Palace were at home, they'd win this. But at the Hill Dickinson, I give it 1 point apiece. 1-1 draw.
And I agree, a 1-1 draw. Newcastle United against Nottingham Forest, 15th against 17th. Two teams having really miserable seasons. Now, Newcastle first, Theo. We thought they'd got something at St James's Park, and it went wrong very late.
It did, yeah. Not a great start for Ange, and he's got European football again this week, so a bit more travel, a bit more distraction. But despite all that, Newcastle, they threw it away at the end too, so they will be dampened. They'll be a lot more gutted, especially how they started that game. Nick Wolterman, a beastly header, another goal for him. That's the only positive, really.
I mean, Newcastle back in the day used to be so amazing at their home ground, and in recent months, they've lost that.
Well, it's just that late Isaac news, isn't it? It just kind of... It put them off guard. It's like when you find something out that you didn't expect to happen. It's like honestly, it's like being cheated on. Despite all that, Dad, Newcastle need to win this game. And they are favourites against a very dampened Forest side recently.
But the thing about Newcastle, Theo, is the team to follow if you don't want to see goals. If you don't want to see goals scored or conceded. Because, honestly, it's 1-0.
Solid defence,
though. That
Solid
is true,
defence.
Theo. But what Newcastle need, what the fans need, and the players and the staff, no, they need a 3-0 or a 4-0 or a 5-0 victory. They need an old-style thrashing.
Could be here.
It could.
Against Ange, who doesn't have much defence. What's your prediction, given all that knowledge?
Well, I'm just going to go with what's happened already. It could easily be a 4-0 or a 5-0, but I'm going to go with a 1-0.
A 1-0?
Because...
after all that, you mug.
The way Newcastle played against Arsenal, and I know it's Arsenal, they got the goal and it's like 8 men behind the ball.
Right,
It's and it's...
Is the tactic changing with Eddie Howe? Do you think he's going a bit more take the result and hold it?
Hopefully against Nottingham Forest it changes, because hopefully you go out
I
and
don't
just
think he's as confident with his own team. I don't think he believes in his team as much as he did last year. That's it. But against Forest, you've got to. Let's not forget that they're on a bad run.
Yeah.
They need a Premier League win, and they've got good players. They've got good players.
They have there, and they're on a terrible away run. They can get nothing away from
the
home.
Aussie manager needs to see his Kiwi striker start scoring goals. Obviously, it's Elanga against his old club. Yeah. So he'll be wanting to get his first goal for Newcastle at home against Forest. Ooh. That would be the story of the day. And I think he's going to do it. And I think he'll score the second goal in a 2-0 win. That's my prediction. Newcastle 2, Forest 0.
Wolverhampton Wanderers against Brighton and Hove Albion is 20th against 10th. Now, these are two teams who will sort of enjoyed last game week. Now, Wolves, I say sort of, because they should have got 3 points at Tottenham Hotspur. They just got the 1 point. But it's the first point of the season.
I said believe. They believed.
I know.
I predicted 1-0. Okay, yeah. 94th minute, Polinia. Celebrated like Tottenham won the league. And you just got a draw at home to Wolves. But I get why he celebrated like that. Because that would have been such...
because it was a sensational goal.
And also
so calm.
Very disappointing from Tottenham the whole game.
Yeah.
He saved them. He saved them with that moment. And I really believe Vitor Pereira would have picked up his first 3 points. The big question in this game, will this be the first 3 points of their Premier League season at home, at the Molineux, against a Brighton team who... we can't ignore it. They're on form. And they were very good away from home at Stamford Bridge.
They're a funny old team, Theo. They throw things away. They should not be 10th now. They should be top 6.
Yeah.
But they tend to throw things away. But not last week. In that second half at Stamford Bridge, they were sensational. And their fans were brilliant.
Even if Wolves score early, they have to come back and win 2-1. I think that's the most likely score. Most likely score, I'm not saying it's my prediction, is Wolves 1, Brighton 2, another 2 late goals. But, and it's a big but, I missed out on vital 3 points on catching you as a 5-point difference in our league. And I need points right now. Yeah. I'm going to say a prediction that I was close to last week. But if I do get it right at some point, I will be getting closer to that table of points. And I've never beaten Thogdad. I've done this year by year and I've missed out. Wolves 2, Brighton 1. Strand Larsen, go out there and give us a goal. Come on, son.
All I can say is there is a massive poster of Jeremy Beadle behind you.
They've got to win at some point.
That's got to be a joke.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw here. Aston Villa against Burnley now, 16th against 18th. It's another game from round about the relegation zone, but Aston Villa, Theo, unbeaten in 3 games, getting back to their best.
They are. They needed to turn it around against Fulham, didn't they?
They did.
They were 1 goal down and then boom, out of nowhere, 3 goals appear. That is what Villa are all about. They needed it.
They needed it. And by the way, Fulham are a good team. Fulham played well. That was a really good victory. Hard fought.
You know, the results didn't start the way they wanted it, but they've got to keep turning up, and they have done that. And now Villa are going to reap the rewards. They've got qualities. Ollie Watkins finally got his goal for FPL users. Morgan Rogers looked great. This is something that Villa are building. And when you're playing Burnley at home, you simply have to win. It's one of those games in the calendar year, you just got to win.
Yeah.
You got to win.
Well, I mean, Burnley's away record, last 5 games, Theo, in all competitions, lost all 5.
You know, I triple captained Haaland last week against Burnley, and until the 90th minute, I was really gutted. I wasted it. And then he goes and appears with 2 goals in the last 2 minutes. And I benched Esteve, which, Maxim
my
Esteve.
goodness.
That's my boy.
2 own goals.
2 own goals.
Oh, my goodness.
He did post on Instagram actually capturing it the worst game of his life. And to have the bollocks to actually post and say that shows you that he's going to be a really top centre-back for the rest of his career. Young lad, and he's going to improve. Burnley, as an overall, they are weak. They are lacking on confidence. And I think Villa could actually run wild here. I'm going to go Villa 3, Burnley 1. Villa are going to score 3 again.
Wow. Now, the thing about Burnley, Theo, I know it's only 1 point in 4 games, but they've had some really tough fixtures.
They have,
Theo.
yeah, you're right.
And they've fought hard at times. So don't write Burnley off.
What I'm saying is they're lacking in confidence. They're going to turn up to the stadium away again against difficult opponents.
What you've got to do, most teams will lose away to Man City. So you've just got to say no points there, but almost everyone else will get no points there.
But Villa are turning now. They have to win. They're 16th in the league. That's not Villa.
Do you know, for Villa, this is the best time to get Burnley at home. Because you're right, they could score 3. I'm going to slightly agree with you and say Aston Villa 2, Burnley 0. And finally, it's Brentford against Manchester City. It's 13th against 7th. It's Moneyball against, well, money, Theo. Do you know, these 2 teams, Theo, if you want goals, if you don't want to see goals, go and watch Newcastle. If you want to see goals, watch Brentford and Man City.
Wow.
So there should be goals here.
There should be goals. And my prediction will have one of the most goals I predicted this week, actually on par with the most. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but when you go to the G-Tech, yes, they leak goals, but they also score them. And you can see that Igor Thiago is silencing all the critics, including me at the start of the season. He just keeps scoring goals. He's fitting in that tactic. He's doing well. And Keith Andrews, at home, brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant. Consistent. Good tactics. Gets the job done. Your mate John are loving it.
Absolutely. Now, you slated Keithy Andrews at the start of the season.
I did.
Have you changed your mind?
I have changed my mind. I will take it back.
I suppose
he's doing well. I didn't know where he would come from, but he's doing really well.
It's about having faith in Matt Benham, the owner, isn't it, Theo? Because he's chosen, for example, Igor Thiago at one point. He's chosen the players, he's chosen the system, he's chosen the manager, and he works year in, year out.
There's no doubt. And that is why, on top of that, it brings me nicely to my prediction of Brentford 2, Manchester City 2. I think Brentford away is one of the hardest fixtures in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Every game we talk about here is close.
They do a lot of giant killing, but it's got to the point where it's no longer giant killing because we know they're a good team.
I do think there will be a goal. Do you know who from though, Dad?
It's got to be the City goal.
Igor Thiago.
Igor Thiago,
What
really?
a player.
Wow.
But I just have a feeling it might be Kevin Schadler's day if he plays.
Interesting.
I don't know. We'll see. What do you think?
Very good shout. I think there'll be goals, Theo. It could easily be like a 3-2 to City or 4-2 to City.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go safe and say Brentford 1, Man City 2.
Wow. So that's different to me for that final prediction. Let us know in the comments. The main game, the one that we're really interested, Chelsea-Liverpool. That can change everything. It's a real spanner in the woods this week of the Premier League. Let us know in the comments what you think. Subscribe on Thogden Talks and we'll see you on a bit. Bye-bye.
See ya.